Okay, real talk. You wake up, look in the mirror, and there it is. A massive pimple right on your chin. Or maybe it's always the same spot on your forehead. And you're standing there thinking it's just bad luck, bad timing, or the universe personally attacking you before that important meeting or date. But here's what most people don't realize. That pimple isn't random. Where it shows up, when it shows up. It's actually your body trying to tell you something. Now before you roll your eyes, thinking this is going to be some pseudoscience face mapping nonsense, hang on. Because while yes, some of that ancient face mapping stuff is questionable, modern dermatology has actually found legitimate connections between pimple locations and what's happening inside your body. And the research backs this up in ways that might actually surprise you. Let's start with the most common spot, your forehead. If you're constantly breaking out across your forehead, especially along your hairline, there's usually a pattern here. A study published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology found that forehead acne is strongly associated with hair products. We're talking pomades, gels, dry shampoo, even your conditioner. These products contain oils and chemicals that migrate down onto your forehead throughout the day, clogging pores and creating what dermatologists call pomade acne. But it's not just hair products. Your forehead is part of the T-zone, which has more sebaceous glands than other parts of your face. More oil glands mean more opportunity for clogged pores. Research shows that stress can also trigger breakouts in this area because stress hormones, specifically cortisol, ramp up oil production. And guess where that excess oil loves to party? Right there on your forehead. Now let's talk about your chin and jawline, because this is where things get really interesting. If you're someone who breaks out primarily along your chin and jaw, especially if you're a woman, there's a strong hormonal component at play. A clinical study in the Archives of Dermatology tracked over 200 women and found that hormonal acne, which typically appears on the lower face, affects about 50% of women in their 20s and decreases to about 25% in their 40s. But here's the kicker. For many women, these breakouts follow a predictable pattern tied to their menstrual cycle. About 1 to 2 weeks before your period, your progesterone levels rise, which increases sebum production. More oil equals more clogged pores, equals more breakouts right on your chin and jawline. It's not random. It's your hormones doing their thing. And this is why some people notice their acne improves on certain types of birth control that regulate these hormone fluctuations. But hormones aren't the only culprit for chin acne. There's also something dermatologists call acne mechanica. This is acne caused by friction and pressure. Think about how often you rest your chin on your hand while you're working, scrolling through your phone, or watching TV. Your phone, by the way, is disgusting. A study from the University of Arizona found that cell phones carry 10 times more bacteria than most toilet seats. Every time you press that phone against your cheek or chin, you're transferring all that bacteria directly to your pores. Let's move to the cheeks, because this is where diet starts playing a bigger role than you might think. Now, I know everyone's heard that chocolate and greasy food cause acne, and honestly, the research on that is mixed. But what is becoming increasingly clear is that dairy, specifically milk, has a legitimate connection to acne. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology reviewed 14 studies and found a significant association between milk consumption and acne. The theory is that the hormones naturally present in milk, even organic milk, can trigger your sebaceous glands to produce more oil. Skim milk actually showed a stronger correlation than whole milk, which surprised researchers. So if you're breaking out on your cheeks and you're drinking milk regularly, especially in your coffee or protein shakes, that might be worth examining. Cheek acne is also linked to respiratory issues in some cases. There's research suggesting that people with allergies, asthma, or who are exposed to polluted air tend to have more inflammation and breakouts on their cheeks. Your skin is your largest organ, and it reacts to what you're breathing in. If you live in a city with high pollution, or you're constantly around cigarette smoke, your cheeks might be showing that stress. And if you're enjoying this and learning something new about your skin, do me a solid and hit that like button. It genuinely helps the algorithm show this video to more people who might need it. And it tells me you want more evidence-based health content like this. Now, let's talk about the area between your eyebrows and your nose. If you're constantly getting pimples right there, digestion might be playing a role. Traditional Chinese medicine has long associated this area with the liver and digestive system. And while we should be careful about taking ancient practices as medical fact, There is some interesting modern research here. A study in the journal Gut Pathogens found connections between gut health, specifically gut bacteria, imbalance, and inflammatory skin conditions, including acne. When your gut microbiome is off, whether from poor diet, alcohol consumption, or stress, it can trigger systemic inflammation that shows up on your skin. The area around your nose has a high concentration of pores, making it particularly vulnerable. So if you're breaking out between your eyebrows frequently, it might be worth looking at your diet, your alcohol intake, and your overall gut health. The sides of your nose are also common spots, and this often comes down to dirty makeup brushes or touching your face. A study found that makeup brushes can harbor significant bacteria. If not cleaned regularly, dermatologists recommend washing them at least once a week. But let's be honest, how many of us actually do that? Here's something else that blew my mind when I learned it. Your pillowcase? You spend 6 to 8 hours every night with your face pressed against that fabric, and if you're not washing it regularly, you're basically marinating your skin in oil, dead skin cells, and bacteria. Research suggests changing your pillowcase at least twice a week. If you're acne-prone, and if you're still using cotton, consider switching to silk or satin, which causes less friction and doesn't absorb as much moisture from your skin. Let's also address body acne real quick, because breakouts on your back, chest, and shoulders follow similar patterns. Back acne, or bacne as everyone unfortunately calls it, is often related to sweat and friction. If you work out and don't shower immediately after, or if you wear tight clothing that traps sweat against your skin, you're creating the perfect environment for acne. A study in the Journal of Clinical and Aesthetic Dermatology found that acne mechanica from athletic gear and equipment is a major contributor to body breakouts. So what's the actual takeaway here? Your acne is rarely just random bad luck. It's usually your body responding to hormones, lifestyle factors, products you're using, or habits you might not even be aware of. Forehead breakouts might mean you need to rethink your hair products or manage stress better. Chin and jawline acne could be hormonal, especially if it follows a monthly pattern. Cheek acne might be telling you to clean your phone, change your diet, or look at environmental factors. The key is to start paying attention to patterns. When do your breakouts happen? Where do they consistently show up? What were you doing or eating in the days before? This isn't about obsessing over every pimple, but understanding your skin's language can help you make better choices. And look, if you're dealing with persistent acne that's affecting your confidence or quality of life, please see a dermatologist. There are effective treatments available, from topical retinoids to oral medications, and you don't have to just suffer through it. But for many of us, small changes based on understanding these patterns can make a real difference. If this video helped you connect some dots about your own skin, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos where we break down health topics with actual science behind them. Thanks for watching, and remember, your skin is trying to communicate with you. Maybe it's time to start listening.